We're not Disney adults. We're just adults that like Disney.
We're not haters. We just have opinions.
We're not cat ladies, but we are childless. We're two entertainment creatives exploring culture at the intersection of fandom and our professional careers.
I'm Kaylin.
I'm Jacob.
And this is the Childless Millennials.
Ready. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, it's 2025.
It's 2025. Yeah.
I want to end 2025 not being like, thank God that's over.
Yeah. I kind of feel like the end of 2024 felt like that one scene in Cars when like everybody crashes and they're just like desperately trying to make it to the finish line. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt. And like I just like eked out right over the finish line.
Yeah. I was sad because I was looking back on my photos and I was like, oh no, like this was a great year. Like we went to Europe, I went to London, Paris. Like I had some really cool stuff. But I was like, why am I like exhausted? Like there was so much.
A lot of very cool things. I was thinking about that the other day too. And I've started this like I'm hoping it's gonna be a habit every day. But like cleaning out my camera roll.
I'm trying to do this too.
Yeah, so this like influencer that I follow, her name is Liz Woods. She started it a couple years ago, and basically every day you just take like 5 minutes, you go in your Photos app and you search that day. So like yesterday, I found all of the photos in my phone that are dated January 1st, and I went and like deleted screenshots and like deleted duplicates and like just tidied things up. Like, oh, I want to put this in this folder. And it was nice because I'm a digital hoarder. I have hundreds of thousands of photos and videos. It was nice to clean it up, but it was also really a fun like retrospective of like, oh, in 2016 on January 1st, like this is what I was doing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to keep that up, and in the process of that, reminding myself that like, oh, there are even if the year feels hard, or even if it's like, oh my God, girl, we stumbled through to that finish line. There were still a lot of really, really amazing things that happened.
Yeah. So that's like a resolution for you?
I don't know if it would be a resolution. It's just like a habit that I'm trying to get myself into.
Totally.
Habits are hard for me. I have ADHD. So like having a routine and like, it's like if I don't do it once, it's as though I've never started it. It just like disappears from my brain. So I'm going to try to keep up with it. I'm not being too rigid about it in terms of like every day at 10 a.m. I do this.
I know. I can't
at some
do that.
point throughout the day, I'm just like, oh, like let me go through my photos. And it really shouldn't take more than 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's going to be like, I can do it, in the parking lot. I can do it
I find
wherever.
I do it when I'm on a plane and I don't have internet.
You go through your photos?
That's when I clean my camera roll.
See, for me, it feels like this huge daunting task. Because I've thought about that too before. I'm like, oh, I'm like on a plane, I'm like captive for 5 hours or whatever it is. Like I could do it. But then I look at the number of photos and videos that I have that I'm like, oh no, I couldn't possibly. And so breaking it up into days, I think is going to be the trick for me to really like get it done. And just like delete a lot of duplicates and like screenshots of old conversations that I don't need. Because one thing about me, when those like memories pop up, I keep receipts, okay? So if we've ever had a shitty conversation via text message, please know it's on my phone.
Screen cap?
Absolutely. And so because I am that way, like memories will pop up and it's like, oh, on this day 6 years ago, and it'll be like a shitty conversation that I had with somebody.
And it's like, I don't want to be reminded.
I don't want to, and then I read it and then I start to remember like how I felt. And it's just, I don't need that in my life anymore. So I'm hoping that this will like get rid of some of those like memories that I don't want popping up,
I'm trying to set myself up for better digital success in that like triggering way, because I never use Do Not Disturb.
Oh,
I never
my
turn
phone
it
has
on.
been on Do Not Disturb for 2 years.
I like never use it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I need to just be honest about the fact that like a phone call out of the blue, a text out of the blue can just change the trajectory of my entire day, depending on who it is, what it is. And like, I really need to start putting my phone on Do Not Disturb and be like, I am not reachable at this time.
I think because of you know, like this is violently millennial. Those memes that are like, remember when we used to go on the internet and then we would leave the internet and now we just have the internet, you know? And it's like,
I want an away message
yeah, right?
for my phone so badly.
And I think that because of the accessibility that we have to technology, like our phones, it has given us as a society this false sense of availability where it's like, because
Right.
I am able to immediately text message someone, they should be able to immediately respond, right? And that's just, to me, like, I'm leaving that type of expectation in 2024.
Period.
Like, honestly, I left it in 2022 when I turned on Do Not Disturb and didn't look back. But like, I don't mean that with any malice or like disrespect towards my friends and the people that I love, but like, I am just not always immediately available. And I don't really want to be. And so I have like a focus mode, because I have an iPhone. So I have a focus mode on my phone that is called no thank you notifications. And I don't get notifications from any apps. I only get text messages from a select few people.
Wait, is this an app?
No, it's just like the focus mode on your phone. So like there's like Do Not Disturb and there's
did not
sleep
know
mode.
this existed.
Yeah, oh my God. So you can customize your focus modes. So like I have so many focus modes. So like my one that is always on is called no thank you notifications. I don't get any notifications from email, Instagram, TikTok, nothing. Only a select few people that can come through my text messages. You are one of them. You're welcome.
Oh my God. Thank you.
both of you are on the list. But and then I have like one for Disneyland. So like all of my friends that I go to Disneyland with, when I go to Disneyland, I turn on that focus mode so they can text me while we're in the park and I won't miss their text messages. I have one for Universal. So when I'm working, all of you are on the list so I can get your text messages for work. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And you can just customize it and turn off or on whatever notifications you want in any given moment. So sometimes I go full Do Not Disturb. And then sometimes it's like selected text messages. Sometimes it's like, what, you know, I'll include an app like WhatsApp or, you know, something like that, whatever. Yeah.
That's going to change my life.
Yeah. It's great.
Because there's also some people that like I would say yes to their text messages, but no to their phone calls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you can turn off notifications for phone calls, period.
Wow.
Like other than like your favorites. Because like your favorites can come through, you know, like if you have like an emergency or whatever.
I'm like a constant communicator with people. So like if I'm away from my phone for like an hour and go back to it, I have like 38 text messages.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and it's like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is
I love being on my phone. Like love being on my phone. It's just it started because of exactly what you said, of like a certain text message or hearing from a certain person or getting, you know, a work something in when I was not in the headspace to receive it was just adding to my anxiety as a human. And it would derail my mood. It would derail certain things. And like when I was at Universal the other day and I had my phone on like a work focus mode and then stayed in the park after just to hang out with friends, forgot to turn it off and like started getting work stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like on the tram tour, like listening to voice memos because I can't just ignore it.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
if you took your
like,
time to message me about something, it's important to you, and I want it to be important to me too.
Yeah.
And so that's why I use the focus modes, is exactly what you said, because like certain things can just like derail whatever I'm doing, and I don't always want that to happen.
I cannot believe I've not been taking advantage.
Yeah, focus
of that.
mode. I'll help you set it up. It's great.
Yeah, I should like look up YouTube videos of like how to just like manage your like digital cleanliness. My sister actually doesn't allow phones in her bedroom.
I love that.
Her husband leave them outside.
They leave them outside.
Bedroom.
My dad does that.
Really?
Yep. Him and his wife, like they leave their phones on the charger in the kitchen. So, and they have like a regular alarm clock for when they wake up in the morning. So their phones charge overnight in the kitchen, and they don't have them in their room. They don't even have a TV in the room.
Yeah, I was never a fall asleep to the TV until
I can't
Connor.
Be alone with my thoughts that much.
I know.
We do have a TV, and it's honestly, I'm sort of joking. It's mostly for the dogs, because you know we live on a busy street and like there are noises and stuff, and like they won't settle down and go to sleep. So we turn the TV on and we set it on like an hour and a half timer so that they like will go to sleep and not just like be bothered by the noise.
The TV is helping me fall asleep recently.
Me too.
Because of Housewives. Because we went back to the beginning of season 1 for Salt Lake.
Yeah. And Heather's just putting you to sleep.
No, I love Heather.
Oh,
but no,
I used to. I don't anymore.
Do you think I won't once I get to a certain part in the show?
Well, you've seen Current.
Yeah.
I don't. I liked her in the beginning, and as of season 5, I'm like, girl,
interesting.
You might be the problem.
Interesting. Okay, wait. Before we move on from New Year's resolutions, the other thing that I want to do in the new year is like, I don't want to make resolutions, but actually, and I haven't even told Connor this, I want to sit down and put certain things on the calendar now. So like I know I want to, there's like a project that I want to have done by Christmas that like I need to like put on the calendar, like, okay, like this is when I'm doing it, just like a rough date.
Yeah.
Like instead of like just making a resolution of like, this year I'm going to do this. And this year I'm like, no, I'm actually going to put it on the calendar as to like when I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just a terrible planner.
Yeah.
In general. But I think that will like help me plan.
Yeah. I love that.
And then the other thing too, going back to the photos for me for the new year is like, I had a friend post a really beautiful post about this and I might post something too, but like, there is so much stuff I just never shared on social media. And I'm sad because now there's like no point. Like I have incredible footage of stuff from performances that like really meant a lot to me that I was like hoarding and like waiting for the right time to post.
I do
and
that.
Now the time
I'm like,
is gone.
oh, I have to wait for the right time. And it's like, just do it.
Yeah.
Like that's so cliche, I guess, and like very Nike, but like just there's never going to be a right time. And there are millions and millions and millions of people posting millions of hours of content on the internet every single day. So like just that's going to be my philosophy is like just fucking do it.
Yeah. Because I think
who cares?
To me, I think it's my like, there's several things, but one of the main things I think is my musical theater training is like, because that is like a recreative art form in my training. We used words like right and wrong all the time. And so I'm like, oh, if it's not right or if it's not perfect, then like, and I'm like, no. Like being an artist means like having the vulnerability to share yourself with all of the bumps, all of the mistakes, all of the cracks, whatever. And like one thing that I'm so mad I never posted is when I didn't have a reel for TV film, when I like moved back to LA from New York, I, instead of just like filming a random scene, I like wrote a scene for me and my best friend, for Ariana, specifically for like our skills. We directed it, we filmed it. It looked amazing. I've never put it anywhere on the internet.
Oh, I want to see that.
Why have I not shared that?
Yeah, I want to see that.
I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm mad because then when I tell people that I'm a writer, it's like, I even forget like, oh yeah, because I have this scene that like you can see my
like
work
I've done these things
of this thing that I wrote, you know. So yeah.
I didn't do resolutions either.
Yeah,
I haven't done resolutions in a very like almost 10 years. Just because like when I like left home and moved to Orlando and like that whole experience, and then like less than a year later like quit my full-time job to be a performer with like no job, I was like, oh, I can do whatever I want whenever I want. Like I don't have to wait for January. Like that was like October 13th. Like I can do whatever I want, you know. But we did 2025 bingo cards.
Oh, that's so cute.
It was my friend Rebecca's idea. So when we were at her house on New Year's Eve, we did bingo cards, and you basically just like fill the way I did it. You can do it a bunch of different ways, like intentionally or whatever. But the way I did it was like things that I want to accomplish in 2025. So like a bucket list of sorts. Not necessarily. Some of them are a little aspirational, but I felt like all of them were within my reach, like within my capability of doing.
Yeah.
So my goal is not to just get bingo on the card, but to actually fill out the whole card.
Yeah.
And like some of them are like, there's a free space in the middle, obviously. And some of them are super easy. Like, get drunk at DCA. Like I'm literally going to do that on Sunday. Like literally doing that on Sunday. So like that one's going to be checked off. Or like one of the other ones was like drive to Tijuana. 'Cause we can try. Like, it's so close.
You know, I've never been.
I've never been either.
And
so
I'm
I guess
from
we're
San
going.
Diego. We're going.
I guess we're going. So I can check it off my bingo card. And then other ones were like host a like fan event. So like I used to host red carpets and things like that. And I want to like maybe do like a Comic-Con or a MegaCon.
Love it.
Or do another red carpet this year. So like that's on there.
Amazing.
Maybe the Childless Millennials will. Come on, Disney, hire us.
Oh my God.
And then like shake hands with a celebrity. Like some of them are like silly and fun, and like
love that.
post 5 YouTube videos and like that doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things, and it's not nearly enough to be like successful on YouTube. But considering I started my YouTube channel last summer and was like super excited about it, and then got really overwhelmed and scared and never posted a video again, I felt like 5 was a good number.
Yeah.
Like 5 is like one of those numbers that's like, it's gonna be work, but it is attainable enough that like I can achieve it and then feel good about it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a grand return to YouTube this year
you?
as well. Yeah, because I did that like 2024, like ask me anything or like do I need to apologize or whatever, and like somebody said, like, why did you not react to High School Musical season 3 and 4? Because I was like, huge series season 1 reactions to season 2, and then I just kind of like disappeared. And there were like multiple things, and so I was like, I think I'm finally gonna make a video that's kind of like, here's why I didn't do that.
Yes,
you know. And then I don't know, I really loved doing YouTube stuff, so I was like, even if I just do it for me and nobody watches it,
exactly.
like, whatever.
And that's kind of the attitude that I'm taking as well, just like with YouTube and with content in general this year, is less of what do I think people will like. I mean, I'm always going to be trying to put things out that I think people will like. I think that's kind of inherent to who we are as performers, but not letting that lead the way, like having that in the back of my mind, but not letting it lead the way. And putting things out that I like, you know, whether it's like a vlog of like a really fun day that I had, even if there's nothing in it that like could be educational or valuable, as the gurus say, like to somebody else, like I had a fun day and I want to put that on the internet, whether people enjoy it or whether it's just for me to look back on.
Right. It's like a little scrap of Connor actually did a vlog when he was in college.
Yeah.
And his parents still watch it. Which
Wait,
I think is like
cute.
so sweet. I know. But they're like so edited and like, So since it's the new year, I thought that we should like just reintroduce ourselves on the pod, like to like some new listeners, and maybe like catch them up and like, you know, maybe like, I don't know, talk about our pod for 2025, like what we're going to do.
It's the new year, and this is our 10th episode.
Woo!
We made it. We did it.
Honestly, starting a podcast in 2020, like that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like I've been like back burning like a podcast in my brain for 10 years probably.
I am like a chronic podcast starter. I have like started so many and like recorded.
Oh, really?
And like some of them have never been released. Some of them I've done 2 episodes and time got away from like I'm a chronic podcast starter. So the fact that we are on episode 10, I'm really proud of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think we started, you know, like if you're new to us, like I, you know, am a musical theater performer, you know, originally, and you know, did the Book of Mormon national tour, did it on Broadway, and then like, you know, since now I work at Disney and I do other stuff beyond musical theater, actor, writer, creative, whatever. And when we originally started this podcast, it was very much like from a place of fandom for like, you know, our Disney thing. And I mean, like we called it the Childless Millennials, but like, I don't know, since it's even just in these 10 episodes, it's evolved into something that I don't even really know how to like describe,
it's
like
really
in
hard.
words. Yeah.
And like when I think about like, okay, how do we market the show and like what's the best way to promote it online and like with social media and stuff, it's like it has kind of become this ethereal thing that I just use the word pop culture as a catch-all because like that is a lot of that is kind of the core of a lot of the things that we talk about, that like they can all kind of fall under the umbrella of pop culture.
Right.
But yeah, it has definitely evolved. Like we're still talking about fandoms and things that we are fans of, and our lens is still the same, right? Because we're creative professionals talking about a lot of things that have to do with the creative arts and,
Right.
things that we're fans of. But it's also just become, I don't know, it's very conversational.
It's just like a vibe.
Like
and
we started out with like, we're going to have structure and we're going to spend 10 minutes doing this and 20 minutes doing this. And after like episode 3, we were like, yeah, that tangent was fun. And like, maybe we just talk and it'll be what it's going to be.
Right.
And it's been really, really fun to not only experience it with you. I love recording our podcast.
Oh, me too.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
But also the reception that we've gotten from other people has been really cool to me.
Yeah.
And like, I just got a message the other day from somebody and they were like, hey, I just started your podcast. I listened to every episode. Like, this is so fun.
Aww.
And that is something that we had talked about in the beginning was like hoping that it was bingeable and like people could binge it.
I don't know if we talked about it on this yet, but my friend Ariana like binged. She literally the other day on the phone, she's like, why don't you have a new episode out?
I know.
And I was like, we do one every 2 weeks.
Yeah. And maybe that'll change, and if that's something that you want is more, let us know. But yeah, I've really loved the evolution of it and how it's just become this thing that I kind of do feel is like uniquely us and uniquely ours. And we've created a space for ourselves as creatives and as yappers, as we are, to yap about whatever we want. And the fact that people are enjoying that makes me really happy.
Totally. Yeah. I think that we're really like finding this subgroup of people like us that, have this like childlike wonderment that they still pursue in the world, both professionally and just personally, and like the way that they spend their time, and that like still kind of feels like a big kid, like in this like big world, but is very much a functioning adult in the world and making money, and we're not just like living in our grandma's basement, like we're actually like, I feel like people like us sometimes get a bad rap of like,
definitely,
not being serious, but like, no, we're very serious and very unserious.
Yeah,
like,
we're very
when you're holding
when we
multiple
need to
sides
be,
of the
we can
spectrum.
be very serious and very professional and straight to the point and like do what we need to do. But also like, I worked with a social media professional one time and she gave me this and I was like, oh wait, are you a therapist? Because that's insane. She was like, well, you just don't put your inner child in timeout. And I was like, yeah, that's like the best way to describe it. And this was like over a year ago that I was like working with her and she told me that. And I was like, that is actually the perfect way to like, and I've used that now to explain to people like, when the conversation comes up about like, oh, like, are you a Disney adult? Ha ha ha. And I'm like, sure, if that's what you want to call it. But like at the end of the day, I just don't put my inner child in timeout. Like, they're just there. They're with me and they get to participate in life with me as an adult.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they get to watch Wicked with me and
over and over and over again. How many times have you watched it since it released on digital 2 days ago?
Oh my God. I haven't yet.
You just bought it this morning? My dogs are at home watching it right now for the 3rd time.
But I will tell you, because we leveled up with this apartment that we have, there is a movie theater in this building that you can rent out, and we will be hosting a Wicked sing-along party.
Okay, please give me the date immediately. Immediately.
Yeah, we will definitely be doing that. And we will have a cocktail called the Green Elixir.
I was going to say, can we make cocktails?
Yes.
Wait, the Glinda one? We should make a Glinda cocktail too, and we should use Empress and turn it pink. Like it'll start purple and then we can turn it pink.
Well, they make the elderflower Empress.
They do have the pink.
Period. Just like hire us to throw your Wicked party.
Yes, we're throwing a Wicked party.
But yeah, I will say one of my goals for the new year for this podcast is I know so many people that were gagged by our Madame Morrible video, speaking of Wicked, but that did not then go to the podcast to listen. And they're like friends of mine. And I'm like, my friend was like, I saw that. And I was like, oh my God, I had never thought of that. I'd seen the show a million times and I was like, well, did you listen to our whole Wicked episode? Because it's amazing. So I'm like getting that next step of just loving. And I know that will come once we have more videos and stuff, but like that whole Wicked episode is it's
really good. If you haven't, if episode 10 is your first introduction to our show, if there's one thing, like if there's one episode that I am proudest of, other than our first episode, just because like we did that, it's the Wicked episode and you should go back and listen to it. It's very good.
In fact, we may have to like do a reaction video to it on my YouTube channel in the style of like how I do my High School Musical ones.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
We should do that.
I'm inviting myself.
Oh my God.
We really do have to do that. We have to do an episode about Real Housewives, but it's not going to be this one. Speaking of evolution of our show.
Okay.
We're going to be doing a segment that we've done since the beginning, but it is evolved.
Yeah,
now.
It is. We're really finding it.
We're cultivating it into into its full potential. So we are going to be doing our vent session, our complaining corner, our we get to bitch and moan for a second.
The thing that you would send your friend in a text message and say, not this, and then paste the article.
Yes.
Or the tweet or the post. Or
whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're continuing that segment into 2025.
The shady share.
The shady share. Oh my God, I'm dead.
When you know the posts you share, like on Instagram that you're like, oop.
Yeah, and like just with the side eye emoji.
Yeah.
No other.
That's what not this is.
That's what not this is. And so we're restructuring it a little. If you can't tell already, 30 minutes into our show, we talk a lot. And in an effort to keep the complaints and the bitching and the not this of it all a little more concise, our not this segment will now be timed. But
by the judgment of
our dear lovely producer, Connor Warren Smith.
Yeah, I have a not this.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. All of that build up into our first not this of 2025.
Not this. Not this Disney Lululemon collab. I am a Lululemon stan.
Are you?
Oh my God.
I don't think I knew that.
Oh, well, I'm like an OG Lululemon stan.
Oh.
Lululemon really was the GOAT for dancers and all of the, like, because they made stretchable, wearable, athletic wear pants that didn't have snaps, zippers, or whatever. So for men, it was the only dance pant option because you could roll on the ground, you could do all this stuff. The quality, incredible. I have tons and tons of Lululemon stuff. Obsessed. I saw that they were doing a Disney collab. I was like, oh my God, take my money. It is horrific. It is as if Disney decided to just launch their own athletic wear copying Lululemon, but it like has the Lululemon logo on it. Of all of the things that they have made with the ABC pant, with the Seawall pant, with their like their hoodies, their sleeveless hoodies, they gave us a pink sports bra with the Lululemon logo and the Mickey logo, like just in pattern. Pink does not say Disney to me. I don't know why that was the color choice. It is just so poorly designed and does not say Disney at all. And but did I still buy the satchel bag with the Mickey logo on it? Yes, I did.
I was gonna say, and how many pieces did you buy from the collection, Jacob?
Did I walk to Downtown Disney and look for that one piece specifically? Yes, I did. But
and there's your time.
No, Lululemon, big flop. Disney, big flop. But the black satchel bag, a win. Thank you so much. That is my I think I felt pressure, so I intentionally went really fast because I didn't want to get cut off.
I loved it. So our new segment, we now have a new intro jingle for Not This.
Not this.
And we are now at the mercy of our beloved producer, Connor, for how long we are allowed to yap. He will be... Oh, no, he left a part out.
Do I need to redo it?
No. I'm just saying that you left out my favorite part about your obsession with Lululemon is that you cannot throw them away. So you literally have Lululemon pants that you've been wearing for 10 years that are fully holes all the way through them. But they don't make this one anymore, so I can't throw it away.
Okay, because...
So you're a Lululemon hoarder.
So, okay, listen. I have a pair of pants called the Seawall pant lined.
Okay.
It was one of my first pairs of Lululemon pants. I mean, the cut on this pair of pants was just golden.
Okay.
I ripped the crotch a little bit.
Okay.
And they have a really great, like, they used to, if you had a hole, a rip, whatever, you would take it and they would just give you a new pair. So I took this and I got a new pair. The cut was not the same. I was devastated. I was like, they changed the cut. So this pair the lining is shredded on the inside. I have has a whole hole in the crotch, a whole hole. A W, a whole hole.
A WH.
Yeah. An entire
a WH.
Yeah. And I just can't bear to throw it away because they don't make it anymore.
Wow.
And I love them so much.
I'm so sorry.
And Lululemon pants, one of the only pants that fits my fat ass. But I'm Sweat Collective member, so I get 25% off because I'm a professional, performer that needs athletic wear. I still might try and take them in and exchange them, but they've become a little more stringent on the exchange return.
Not like Costco.
Not like Costco. We're not taking 2-year-old couches back. So I think that is boomer.
Well, is it real is my question.
Yes.
Because I saw the video this morning of, I don't remember who it was now, but like somebody was talking about it on the news. And then in the comments, people were like, the fact that people don't realize this is satire is killing me.
The guy was satire. But
okay, the guy who says he's the manager is satire, but the story is real?
Wait. Did the internet fool me?
I don't know. Apparently the guy that you posted who's like saying he's the manager and is like refused the return, everybody in the comments was saying that that's a satire, that he's a content creator.
People do that a lot.
Okay, that makes sense because he was speaking like in his Costco vest with his name.
His full
and
name
I was
tag.
like, Costco wouldn't have allowed that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if the story is real of like returning it.
Bitch, I sent that to my dad.
Oh,
I was like,
no. You sent fake news to your dad.
I did.
The liberal media strikes again.
Okay, but so here's the thing about that. My aunt that I lived with in Vegas. So do I need to cut out my eye roll? Okay. My aunt, when I lived with her in Vegas for a year when I was doing a show there, she had a Keurig that she bought at Bed Bath & Beyond that she used for 10 years. And then when it broke, she returned it.
They let her?
They had an open-ended return policy. Why do you think Bed Bath & Beyond went bankrupt? My aunt.
It was your aunt. It was
her. And then my friend Kevin, that I had a Book of Mormon with, he's Elder Price on Broadway. Go, Kevin. He used to work at Kohl's, also open-ended. He said people would literally bring in bed sheets that were like ripped, stained, like, and
disgusting.
Disgusting. And that he would have to issue the return.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Nordstrom.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't have a problem with frugality at all. Like, I don't have a problem with that. It's like making someone else touch your dirty things is disgusting to me.
Do you not have are you not like ashamed or tacky? The other thing too, so our roommate.
Bring back shame, 2025.
Bring back
shame. Shame.
Okay, so.
Hannah Waddingham, where's your bell? Shame.
Our roommate, Stella, former roommate, used to work at Nordstrom. This piece of information gagged me because I will say I am one to have returned a year-old air fryer at Costco that I used.
Okay.
But I did it because the inside corroded. So it died.
It died.
That's why I returned it. I wasn't trying to like pull one over on Costco. Like the product was not what it said it was. When you buy something at Nordstrom and then you return it, it deducts the commission from the person you bought it from. So if you buy something at Nordstrom that is $300 and somebody gets 10% commission on that and they make $30 and you return it 6 months from now, their paycheck will be deducted $30. So some Nordstrom employees, if you return several luxury items that are hundreds, if not over thousands of dollars, they will get a negative paycheck.
That is criminal.
Criminal.
The commission thing is so strange to me because just because someone returns the product doesn't mean that you as the employee didn't do the work to earn the commission. Do you know what I'm saying?
But the thing is
commission-based sales, like the commission is supposed to be your payment for a successful customer interaction. So just because that person changes their mind doesn't mean that you aren't a successful salesperson. I don't think I understand that.
But then the company would be paying you for that commission instead of the money coming from the product. So the problem with her is that because she worked in luxury beauty, so many people buy a slew of products that they use once, that they use half of the way through, and then they return all of it months later.
Wow.
And Nordstrom has to take it back.
Yeah.
Unless the person, there were a few times I think that she maybe not following the policy was like, you used this.
Yeah.
Because then there are also people, like a big thing at companies like Nordstrom or I don't know, like Victoria's Secret, like, you know, they'll, you know, gift with purchase.
Yeah.
Free gift with purchase. So people will buy the thing, keep the gift with purchase,
and then return the item.
Thing. And so like our roommate said that there are people, former roommate, that there are like people at Nordstrom who have accounts with like negative 10,000 reward points because they have like
so many returns
that it like has gone into the negative.
That's crazy.
But I don't think that is something that like I think the American consumer needs to be educated on. I genuinely think that if there will always be assholes out there, but I think if people knew when they returned something at Nordstrom that it was being deducted from somebody,
they might think twice before purchasing it in the first place.
Yeah,
you know, I think people who are hell bent on doing things like that and are genuinely trying to like pull one over on companies, they aren't going to care. But for people who don't know that they're actually taking money out of somebody's pocket, it might just like make them think twice about purchasing it in the first place if they know they're not committed to it.
Yeah. Because even this came up because when I had like a photo shoot or something, you know, I just went and bought like a slew of clothes because I didn't know what I was going to wear.
Right.
So then I returned whatever I didn't use. But she was like, just in the future, buy it online.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Then nobody's getting the commission.
Then nobody's getting the commission.
And then the return.
That makes sense. Yeah. When I, like, speaking of like beauty, when I worked at MAC, a lot of people didn't know this, but whether or not
I didn't know you worked at MAC.
Yeah.
Stella worked at MAC.
Yeah. Stella and I talked about this.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I worked at MAC in like the early 2010s.
You know that the Alphaba Green on Broadway, MAC.
I do. Yeah. it's the green chroma cake.
Period.
I know exactly what it is. Because I was the manager at the Pro Store in Orlando. Period.
Oh my God. That's so cool.
So when I worked at MAC, and a lot of people, I don't know what the policy is now, but at that time, a lot of people didn't know. If you bought something, whether you used it or not, because it is a cosmetic, we could not resell it. So if you were in the store and you bought a powder and on the way out, you realized, shit, this is NW25 and not NC25. And you turned around and said, hey, can I exchange this for a different color?
That product gets thrown away.
Product gets damaged. Like it gets removed from inventory and it gets put on the damage report and it comes out of like the store's overall profit. So it's not necessarily a commission situation. For us, it was more so just wasteful.
Yeah.
Because people would buy things and be like, I don't know, I'm going to take these colors home and see which one I wear to the party and bring back 3 lipsticks the next day. Oh, well, I didn't use them. Doesn't matter. Those can never be resold again. And so it's just, speaking of like the wastefulness of that type of consumerism.
You know, going into 2025, let's just not have shame about educating people on these things. Because I just had a friend that went through a whole crazy audition situation. And I said, that director is your friend. And you actually need to call that director and say, that was not right.
Mm-hmm.
You, just so you know, in the future, I would not do that this way because this X, Y, and Z. Because one time when I was in college, you know, when you're broke, I bought the wrong ice cream. And so I returned the ice cream. Yes. I returned the bite of ice cream to Fonz.
Okay.
And this sweet old woman, she said, that's fine. We can get you the flavor you want. But just so you know, we don't resell this.
Mhm.
This just gets thrown away. So this is just wasting the product, which is fine. We'll give you your flavor, but just know, I was so glad she did that.
Yeah.
I never did that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think in going into 2025, we need to encourage more of that.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely think if people knew certain things, that they would behave a little better.
Yeah. Their consumer habits might be a little different if
Yeah.
they knew like how much waste actually happens when you return something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say we've gone back and forth on this like structure,
Uh-huh.
but the one thing that I feel like is like the staple
Mhm.
is
yeah, my favorite segment. Okay, so really quick before we get into this, normally the way we do Violently Millennial is I come up with most of the things and present them to Jacob.
Yeah.
And then we laugh and discuss whether or not they're Violently Millennial, and we have a completely arbitrary, made up, improvised on the spot scale of how violently millennial these things are. None of that is changing except for the fact that this edition of Violently Millennial is submissions. These are things that have been submitted to me as, is this Violently Millennial? Could this be Violently Millennial? The first one is a submission from none other than Jacob, who texted me. I'll read the exact text message. The day after Christmas, in fact. Making up hashtags and using them ironically is violently millennial in capital letters. So
it is,
it
right?
is.
Okay, because like when Instagram came out, like and the world was like introduced to hashtags, and people would be, you know, like hashtag like male, hashtag male model, like hashtag actor, whatever. Like I would do like, you know, something like ironic, like hashtag like what are we even doing, hashtag whatever, you know, like it's like it's the commentary on.
It became a commentary. It became like a sub level of communication, was like communicating things via hashtag rather than like what hashtags were intended for, which was to categorize content, right?
Yes.
And like hashtags now, I mean, if you're using Instagram, hashtags actually don't really do anything anymore in terms of like pushing your content algorithmically. Everything is SEO based now. So like keywords and search engine optimization. Are we bringing back ironic hashtags?
Has it been enough time to bring it back?
I don't know. Because something that is also violently millennial, which I responded to you when you texted me, is using hashtag in conversation, which I will say that I do. I do that.
You do.
Not all the time. I used to do it a lot. And one of my favorite things to do still, completely ironically, is to use hashtags in text messages. They serve no purpose. I just find it hilarious.
That's really funny.
You know who used to make fun of me for it? EJ.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when I like this was
oh my God.
8 years ago. When I would like, and I would text him something and put he's like, why are you putting hashtags in text messages?
That's really funny.
It's been very millennial.
Do you think when you, speaking of talking and saying like hashtag blah, 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 do you ever say LOL in a conversation?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you say LOL or do you say lol?
Yes. To both.
Okay. Because I feel like
if I'm being like sarcastic, like there's two different levels of sarcasm. It's like, LOL, or like lol is like I'm rolling my eyes. Like there's like a little attitude behind it.
Because I love that it was like very much like Hairspray was a movie that became a musical movie. There was like LOL, then people would say LOL and lol, and then people would type out LAWL.
Yes. I don't type LAWL.
I don't type out
I don't
lol
do that
either.
I will do.
But I will say lol or LOL.
Lol.
I will say LOL. I will also type out LOL.
Oh, like ELL.
Yes.
OHELL.
Yes. If it's like a big LOL.
Okay.
But that's more if it's like a, can you freaking believe this?
Yes.
Like LOL.
Yes.
Like,
this is what's so fun about language is that like it means so many different things.
Yes.
Like there's like if you say no, but that means yes.
Yes.
Or if you're like, there's like all those different things where like if you say no or yes, it actually means the opposite. My friend Yuli is an expert in that. I'll have to get her take on what all of those mean. Okay, so the second one is also a fan submission, a friend submission from my friend Tristan, and it goes back to actually something we talked about at the very beginning of this episode, which is avoiding answering phone calls and hating talking on the phone. Violently millennial.
Really?
Our generation is plagued with phone call avoidance.
I feel like that's a Gen Z thing.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay, I must be the anomaly of millennials. This was like a thing.
Okay.
When we first dated.
Okay.
Because I do nothing but call my friends all day long.
Okay.
On the phone.
Yeah.
And
you call me. I answer your call.
Yeah. And he was like, why are you calling me? Like, if you do not have, cause he would literally just be like, he'd be like, so are you just calling to chit chat? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, so I'm busy. So like, if you're calling me, and I was like, what do I need to do? Like text you for an appointment, like on the phone?
Yeah.
But like he to him, and I feel like to other millennials, a phone call is very important.
Yes.
More than a text.
Extremely important. Yes.
Yes. So but me and I don't know if this started like in high school or something, but like me and Ariana, we just like call each other probably once a day. And if you don't answer, fine, we'll just call you another time.
Yeah.
Like just to like say hey or whatever. But like I actually don't really have like that big of a text relationship with Ariana. Like we almost like exclusively talk on the phone. But maybe
I should have put talk on the phone more on my bingo card for 2025. Because that just feels like retro. I don't know.
My phone doesn't make it through the day because of how much I talk on the phone.
Seriously?
Oh yeah. Especially in Southern California. If I'm in the car, that's why I don't really listen to music or podcasts all that much because I call
only
people.
with my sister though. And Zach a little bit. Like if Zach is on the way to work and like I'm, like sometimes we'll talk on the phone, or if he's on the way home, sometimes we'll talk on the phone. But like I with my sister, I will call her or FaceTime her, and we will FaceTime for hours, like 4 or 5 hours. And her husband is like, he'll call her like 3 times in the middle of our FaceTimes, be like, hey, I'm leaving work. And then, hey, I got home from work. And like, hey, I'm going to bed, because they live in different states right now. And every time she's like, okay, well, I'm on the other line with my sister, I'll let you go. And he's like, you're still on, what the fuck could you possibly be talking about for 5 hours?
Well, you just like set your phone up and you're just like hanging out, like you're in the house.
We're just hanging out. Like sometimes we play video games, sometimes we're just chit chatting, and sometimes like I'll FaceTime her and be like, hey, I need to actually do laundry and I need like a virtual body double, because I like for like ADHD, like body doubling is really really helpful for me. And so I'll be like, hey, can I FaceTime you so I can do laundry? And she's like, yeah. And so like she'll be doing stuff around her house and I'll be doing stuff around my house. And then we just like say whatever comes to our mind. But I only do it with my sister.
Why is FaceTime different than is a phone call like more serious than a FaceTime? Because I also do FaceTime people all the time. And
I will say I love a good FaceTime.
Yeah. My friends Brian and Daniel in North Carolina, like they were like, you're the only person that like FaceTimes. Like they thought I was like a freak of nature, that I would like FaceTime people, and I'll FaceTime them and their answer, and they're like, hello. Because they like hate it.
I do love a good FaceTime.
I love a good FaceTime. I love a good phone call. I'm realizing that like I just really hate texting. I hate getting texts. I hate getting texts because I also hate emails. Like I just don't like that. I would rather get a phone call.
I'm the opposite. I love text messages and I actually love group chats. Like I love being in a group chat. Like
a good
even if the group chat is no longer relevant to me, like if it was like for an event or something and like the event's over, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving the group chat. I'm not muting the group chat. What are we talking about?
That's hilarious.
What's happening? What did you do? Did you get home safely? I love a group chat.
There used to be a group thread of every like Mormon male from the Book of Mormon.
Stop.
It was too much.
You said leave this conversation.
Yeah, and it was also like violently inappropriate. And so then there was this one guy that was like, I have to leave this group thread because my daughter uses my phone.
Oh no.
And we were like, sure you know.
Sure you know. Okay. All right, I have one last violently millennial submission from a friend, Alex. say this is it's kind of in the vein of phone calls and how we interact with our phones and how retro it is. Saying your name and phone number when you leave a voicemail.
What if they're on a landline?
Connor said, what if they're on a landline?
Oh.
I'm dying.
Caught.
I do it. He posted something about it and I responded and I was like, oh, I fear I do this. And he said, I fear this is violently millennial. And that's how the submission was born. Yeah. Yep. Hi, this is Kaylin. I was just calling about
Yeah.
If you will, like, please return my call at your earliest convenience. My phone number is But okay.
My realization is, are people not doing that anymore?
Why would you? It shows up on the phone what your phone number is now, and you can immediately call back.
But to be fair, like when I call into work, like call scheduling, my phone
I
had that SIM
I think that's a different use case.
Okay, because but here's the thing though, when I had that whole SIM card debacle with my phone, so I called from Connor's phone, and I was like, hey. She answers. She's like, it's Taylor. I said, hey, Taylor, it's Jacob. She goes, oh, this isn't the number you normally call from.
So she does know your number.
And I was like, are you on an iPhone? Can I text this number?
Can I text in?
Like, here I am calling thinking that you're on like a rotary, like, hello?
If they're in an office.
Yeah.
The phone starts vibrating.
I get texts all the time from scheduling because my voicemail is, please don't leave a voicemail.
Yeah, I did steal that from him on my voicemail.
Yeah?
It's like, if you know, feel free to shoot me a text. That's my Connor Smith.
I need to change my voicemail then.
You should. Yeah, you should be like, hey, it's
that.
Kaylin. You know, leave a voicemail, or you can shoot me a text.
Yeah.
Well, now voicemail is better because it does do this.
It does like type it out for you, which
true.
I like.
Also, saying your name on your voicemail is like also kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that too because like you've called me, so you know who I am.
Yeah.
So, like, do I even need to say, hey, this is Kaylin, or like, hey, you've reached Kaylin's phone, or can I just be like, sup, bitch?
Right.
Don't leave a voicemail. Text me. Bye.
Well, it's also that if you don't know what number you're calling, I
don't want to talk to you.
I don't want you to know that's my number.
No.
My older brother, did you know you used to be able to have personalized voice message? Like,
no.
Yes.
Like if you called me, I could have like a personal voice message
so when I called
just for you.
My brother would be like, sup, Jacob, leave a message, which why would you need to do?
I don't know. That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, but I think it would be better if it was categories.
I think I would do that for my dad. Like I would have like a separate voicemail for my dad. Be like, hey dad.
That's
what's up?
Sweet. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll call you later. I'm probably doing something.
Right.
The question that you had was not good.
My question, I'll cut this out, but it was, is this violently millennial? But
yeah, absolutely. Like peace sign, like little.
Like, really? It's not Gen Z?
No, that's.
Are they doing it to make fun of us?
Absolutely, they are. That's so violently millennial, and catch me every day out here, like. Every single.
Because I did it in my New Year's photo, and everybody's like smiling, and I'm like.
I'm gonna make a super edit for you, just for you specifically. I'll send it to you of like all the videos I take of like I'm vlogging or I'm taking an outfit video or I'm like making a fun little video at Disney or whatever. It does not fucking matter. In every single video, I'm hitting the everyone.
People need something to do.
Every single one.
I am dead.
Yeah.
Well, I'm embracing in 2025. So happy 2025.
What I'm just now realizing is, what do the people who aren't watching this think we're doing right now?
Sorry to our audio.
Oh my God, that's right. I thought you were talking about the people outside the window or something.
We just keep taking these silences, and
my God,
if you've hung on this long and you're like, what the fuck are they doing? We're doing the peace sign, like tongue out winky face.
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Oh my gosh, I keep doing it as if they can like hear it.
Keiko, they can't see you with their ears.
Oh,
if you're listening audio only, I highly encourage you go to our Instagram. I'll post a clip of this in our stories on the day that this episode launches, so you can feel included. Thank you so much.
So funny. Yeah.
And watch on YouTube because it's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good thing to end on. So a goal for our podcast for 2025:
1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
1,000 subscribers. We would love to be monetized on YouTube.
Period.
1,000 subscribers is our goal for 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And maybe stretch goal, start a Patreon.
Period.
We'll
talk.
It was Jackie's idea first, but we're taking it and running with it.
Yeah. We need to consult Jackie.
Oh
my God.
And have Jackie back on the show.
Yes.
More guests in 2025. Jackie Cox is still our one and only guest. So 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, starting a Patreon, and more guests. Those are the Childless Millennials goals for 2025.
Period.
Thank you all for being here.
I'm making the face, everyone.
He's making the face. It's funny because you're actually not winking. You're like kind of like rolling your eyes.
Oh, so it's a wink? Oh, that feels... Why are you all laughing at me?
Because you said, oh, it's a wink, and then immediately hit it. I'm going to pee my pants.
Oh my God. We're ending this. Goodbye. Happy 2025.
Happy 2025. We'll see you in a couple weeks. The Childless Millennials is a podcast hosted by Jacob Heron and Kaylin Kelly. The show is produced by Connor Warren Smith with music by Connor Warren Smith.